Hey, welcome back to the Miss Monday podcast. I'm your host, Pastor Virginia, and today we're going to be talking about an issue that I think women across the board deal with, and that is insecurity. But before we do, I just want to remind you, please go ahead and subscribe to our podcast, to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook so that you don't miss out, and every time a new episode is posted, you're notified and you can join in. Also, if you're being blessed by this, which I hope you are, please go ahead and take a screenshot and share this on your social media so that other people can learn that Miss Monday and Thursdays with Tim, which Pastor Tim does for guys every Thursday, and I know that it's blessing men out there. They've been powerful, so share them and help us get the word out. All right, so let's jump right in. We are going to be talking about the top 2 reasons that women are insecure and how to nip them in the bud. How to nip them in the bud. I am ready to move past insecure. I had my fair share of insecure moments in my life, and I'm telling you, there's so much freedom that comes when you are confident and when you are secure in who God's created you to be. And really, that moves us to our very first reason. The very first reason is that you don't know who you are. You are insecure when you actually are not sure of who you are. I'm a huge fan of Joanna Gaines. I love her home decor. I would just buy it all up and put it in my house. I love every bit of it. But there's this sign that she made, and it has this saying, you can hang it in your house, and it says, "The world needs who you were made to be." The world needs who you were made to be. You know, when we can accept the personality that God has given us. You know, I have toddlers, and you just spend a couple minutes around somebody and you can pick up on what their personality is, and that's from early on. Personality is something that God gives us to help promote us to where we are meant to be. You know, there's a special and unique calling on every one of our lives, something special that we're all supposed to do, and our personality is going to promote that and help that and encourage that. And so when we don't really know what those are and we can't really identify what they are, then we can be very insecure and we'll never be able to move in the direction confidently that God has. And there'll be so many frustrations along the way. And so I hope I can help eliminate some of that for you today. So the world needs who you were made to be. And so if you're an outgoing, loud, energetic person, then that's who God created you to be for a reason. You're going to touch people and connect with people that are loud and outgoing and, you know, all of those things and energetic. But if you're a quiet and a reserved person, God made you quiet and reserved for a reason. It's going to be used in the long-term vision and goal for your life. And so we need to accept that, love that, never try to change that, hone in on that, and move forward. And so I like to call it a personality deficiency. See, if we don't really know what our personalities are and we've not recognized those that the Lord's given us, then due to circumstances in our lives, our personalities can be changed a little bit. And that happens when we don't have a solid character. So personality and character, that's how you identify who you are. You're made up of personality and character. And if your character isn't where it needs to be, when a circumstance or a situation comes in your life, your character will tell you how to react to it, right? And if your character is not right, then you can have a personality deficiency because you're going to respond in a negative way or a different way than you normally would, and it can cause this personality deficiency. And so we really have to seek the Lord in figuring out what is my personality and really deciding that if the Lord shows us an area, because let me put it this way, we might be quiet and reserved, okay? But if due to some situations that our character wasn't able to uphold and support our personality, we might be faced with like not being able to talk to anybody at all, ever. If we ever are put into a position where we have to speak to other people or interact with other people, we just shut down. Like we can't do it. We're full of all of this anxiety, and that's a personality deficiency. You don't know who you are, and you don't have the character to support it and to carry you through. And so you have to take time. It's pivotal that you take time to search yourself out. Ask God, hey, what are the personalities that really you've given me? And let me fix those that maybe are not exactly where they need to be. And so that's important. First, you have to realize what your personality is. There's an article that Psychology Today wrote, and in there it expressed that how easy it is to confuse personality with character, but it's so crucial that we learn to separate the two. And so personality, you're extroverted, you're funny, you're energetic, you're optimistic or confident. Other things can be like you're overly lazy, or you're overly serious, you're negative, you're shy. All of these things are personalities. But your character's honesty, virtue, being kind, things like that, that's what your character is. And so as a Christian, it's really important that we know the difference, because opposed to personality, character traits are based off of our beliefs. They come from what we believe. And I thought Galatians 5:22 through 23 really explained it the best. And that's the fruit of the Spirit. So we have love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. These things really build up a character, a good biblically based character. And so that should give you a little something there to kind of do some self-evaluations on and see where your character is. While personality can be perceived as something that's permanent, character is something that's developed. That gives us hope. Look, our character is something we can change. When we realize we're reacting to something in an unbiblical way or a negative way, that can be changed. That's not who you are. You're not defined as that person. It can be developed. And the closer we draw to the Lord, the more like him we become. The more you read your word and you find out, you get to know who he is, you reflect that. So if we're mirroring Jesus and we really become that which we read in the Bible, then we're going to be in a constant state of allowing ourselves to be transformed into his likeness, and we can pretty much bank on having a good, solid character, and then we can be totally secure in it. And if we're like Jesus, Jesus is perfect, right? He's perfect in all of his ways, and if we become more like him, then how can we go on being insecure? And so, number one is knowing who you are. What are your personality traits, and what's your character? And do you need to develop this character, which we all really are going to be developing character our whole lives. So we need to be developing this biblically based character, and then our personality is going to line up with that, and those two coupled together will solidify who we are. And when we know that, we'll be unshakable. Number two reason why women are insecure, and that's being in the wrong company. So number one, not knowing who you are. Number two, being in the wrong company. See, they go hand in hand as well. When we're in the wrong company, it actually encourages those insecurities that are formed out of not knowing who we are. When you don't know who you are, you're around people that promote something that's opposite of who you are, and it just enables this insecurity to just flourish, and that's a very bad thing. So, in Bible school, we always heard this saying, like, the anointing will take you where God has destined you to be, where God wants you to be, but your character keeps you there. And so I want us to think about that in light of the company we keep and the two things we just learned about knowing who we are. So your personality is typically going to get you into a relationship, right? Into a friendship or a relationship. But your character and their character should keep you in that relationship. Your character and their character should keep you in that relationship. 1 Corinthians 15:33 says, "Do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good character." Bad company corrupts good character. So there's two things here we have to look at. Just that initial bad company. So our main thing is we don't want to be in the wrong company. And that can be bad, that can be negative, bad company, or that can just mean not our people, being in the company of people that aren't promoting who we are. So let's focus on bad company. So bad company corrupts good character. Basically what that is when your personality, like if you're an outgoing person, you're probably not going to become friends with somebody who's super shy and introverted, because you guys really don't have anything that's similar. You're not going to be able to go out and have a good time together. So when a personality brings you close to someone, and then over time, when they're in character, when a situation comes their way and you see how they react to it, their character is revealed to you. And if it is in conflict with your character, then you realize, and now that's only if you have lined up your character biblically. So everything we just talked about on the first point, which is getting that biblical character, all the fruits of the Spirit, really allowing yourself to be transformed. If you're doing that, and you're in company with someone that your personalities match up, but you realize their character's flawed and it's not lining up to yours, and over time, if that person's a believer and you've brought that up to them, or you've given them time, you've prayed for them, the Holy Spirit, the Holy Spirit's been dealing with them, and just time and time again, this negative character is showing through, you have a decision to make. You don't cut people off as in like you don't love them. You love people. You have to love people, but you don't have to be friends with them. You don't have to be in company with them all the time. If they are promoting something opposite of what the Bible is instructing, you have to make a decision, because it only promotes insecurity in who you are. Have you ever heard that saying, birds of a feather flock together? You're naturally, there's actually this statistic that says you will naturally become like the top 5 people you spend time with. So think about the 5 people that you're around the most. This is your company. The 5 people that you're around the most, that's who you're going to become like. And so if their character is not biblically based, and you're trying to transform your life and make your character biblically based, somebody's getting ready to give in. And so you gotta make sure that your company are the people that you're wanting to be like, that they're promoting that which you're working for and you're striving to be like. So bad character, okay? But both character and personality are equally important when it comes to the company that we keep. So we have to understand that they're equally important. You can't just hang out with people because it's easy, because they have the same personality as you. You have to focus on their character, because that is what should keep you in that relationship. Now, there are those people that promote, that either won't promote because they just can't. They're not the same. They won't promote, or they can't promote your personalities or your interests. And if they aren't going to do that, that means what you're interested in and what your personalities are going to be pushed down and snuffed down. And that promotes insecurity. When you're in company, when you're in friendships and relationships with people who don't identify with who you are, they don't appreciate who you are, they're going to try and change that. And you're going to feel uncomfortable, and you're going to feel like drained every time you walk away from that relationship and that friendship. And you're going to start trying to change who you are. And remember, the first thing is knowing who you are, appreciating it, accepting it, and never changing it. So the Champion Forum is someone that we Instagram thing that we follow, and Champion Christian Center, Pastor Joey, you've probably heard me mention her multiple times, and we just love that ministry. And Jeff Hancher is the head of their helps ministry, and he heads up this Champion Forum, and it's amazing. You should go and follow them. They always have amazing things that they post about leadership and so on. But he just posted something recently that said, don't change yourself so that other people will like you. Be yourself so that the right people will love you. Be yourself so that the right people will love you. And we were just recently together with some family members, and we were just talking about like how we've changed over the years and all of these things. And it was such a great conversation, but there was this one thing that just stuck out to me. And they were like, well, yeah, we really felt like that you changed once you got married and all of these things. And this person said, well, I really didn't change. It's just that my in-laws, my wife's family actually just liked the same things I liked. This person was very artistic and liked to try new things and be outside of the mold, and the family was the same way. They promoted that artsy side of him, and they could just geek out together. And he just became more of who he already was. These people were able to really help promote who he already was, and he became comfortable with who he was. And I thought that was really interesting because you can sometimes see it as a negative thing. And when you have to back out of company, it can be uncomfortable and it can seem like a negative thing, but it's not. Sometimes it's not that that person's bad, right? That they're bad company. Sometimes they just are not your people. You should never have to feel like that you have to change who you are in order to stay in the company of someone. Don't change yourself so that other people will like you. Be yourself so that the right people will love you. When you find yourself in situations like that, you are secure, they are secure, and insecurity it can't exist in that type of atmosphere. When you know who you are, when you become more like Jesus, and when you realize that those personalities and those characteristics that God's given you, and you hone in on those, and then you surround yourself with people that are like-minded, with people that are like that, security just can't survive that way. It just can't do it. So the two reasons that women deal with insecurities is that they don't know who they are and that they are around the wrong company. You need to find your people. You need to find your people. You need to enjoy that company and kind of just get rid of those that aren't promoting who you really are. You have to be confident in who you are. Surround yourself with those people, and I'm telling you, insecurity will go. It just can't live in an atmosphere like that. So I want to leave you again. I just want to reread it one more time because it was so good. Number one, the world needs who you were made to be. So be you. Just be the real you. And then the second thing is, don't change yourself so that other people will like you. Be yourself so the right people will love you. God bless you, and we'll see you next week.